We are in this wildlife resort, and from the corporate sector, when we come here for 2 nights and 3 days rejuvenation package into this resort, from the corporate sector I get the following thought. Because if we have stress, then perhaps we have to sort out things. We have to resort things. So a resort get its name that it's a place where you come to sort out things, to find out your weaknesses or where we have missed out things, and we have to sort our patterns, routines, habits, etc., and sort it out and resort it. Perhaps that's why we come to a resort like this, and that gives me an idea of repair. So we are paired wrongly, not physically as human beings, but we are paired in a wrong profession perhaps, or we have a wrong thought process, or so there's a mismatch in things of how we think. What we want is different from what we need. Our desires are different from our ecosystem that it is capable to provide us. Perhaps our habitat is not allowing us to get the desired result. Perhaps the human resource department or operations or HR or finance needs a little repairing things. So we have understood the value of resorting things, and we have understood the value of understanding the first pairing of the job versus the domain expertise or the role expected from us versus our capabilities. So we need to repair things, and then we also need to reform things. Perhaps we have formed our attitudes, we have formed certain conditioning of our mind, of do's and don'ts, or the right way or the wrong way, or likes and dislikes, or perhaps even more pettier, more trivial formation of how we think. Our thinking process needs perhaps a reform. So here I invite you to deeply study the words resort, repair, and reform. Most of the time when we think of rehabilitation of people, we do it out of sympathy more than we do it out of empathy. So I think we need to reorient ourselves from conveying sympathy and taking action based on empathy. So perhaps our own perception of things, the way we study things, the way we learn and understand things, the way we infer things from our environment, from body language of people, conversation, communication, or to reduce our stress levels, perhaps we need to reorient ourselves. We need to learn how to relearn and reinvent ourselves once again. So I invite you to again understand whether are you adequately introspecting and genuinely and sincerely allowing yourself to reorient, reinvent, and to relearn. So when we understand the word rehabilitation, it need not be somebody subordinate to you, because rehab could be to somebody superior, or to a colleague, a peer, or somebody equal to you. And subordinates perhaps need reform and then investment into rehabilitation. So it need not come out of sympathy, it need to come out of empathy. And this beautiful place, such places where we come out for resorting ourselves to a different habitat, because otherwise our mind is overburdened with the same habitat, the same routine in the office space or in the home space. So we cannot really cut off and shut off from what's occupying our mind space. So if we choose to move out for a weekend, 2 nights and 3 days to a resort in the wild, where it's totally a radical change in the habitat we are used to, a different ecosystem, then we get a more bandwidth of the mind to invest in adequately analyzing the sorting, the resorting, the reforming, and the repairing. So welcome to such resort, and let's go back more enthused and more energized and rejuvenated.